It's Friday and payday, the first cash stuffing for the month of May. Welcome to my channel. My name is Susanna and I'm a wife and mom of 3. I love finding ways to stretch our budget and create a cozy home. I hope you will join me and subscribe to my channel as I share with you ways I live simply on less. I love this time of year. I love Fridays, and it's even better when it's payday. So today we're going to take the cash that we need for this paycheck, and we're going to do our cash stuffing. In our last video, we set up our budget for May. And so when I take my income that I expect to receive in May and I subtract all of our expenses, what remains is $766.80. I divide that total by 2 because we received 2 paychecks for the month. And that leaves an additional $383.40 for our extra spending. These I use for sinking funds, savings challenges. I also take out my money in cash for my groceries and my eating out. And so that comes to $350. So let's go ahead and count our money that we have for this paycheck. 100, 200, 50, 70, 90, 300. 20, 40, 60, 80, 400, 20, 40, 60, 80, 500, 20, 40, 60, 80, 600, 20, 40, 60, 80, 700, 20, 40, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 81, 82, 83. So $783 is what we have to use for our savings challenges, for our cash envelopes, and for our wallet for this paycheck. What we're going to do next is empty out our wallet and our envelopes and just see how much we have and then replenish them for the weeks ahead. So to begin with our wallet, I usually start just by taking out any loose change that I have and adding it to my change jar. I don't really think I have much this month. I only had 50 cents from last week. We're going to put that into our jar and set that aside. Next, I take my envelopes, our eating out envelope and our grocery envelope. We put $150 per week in groceries, and my groceries covers everything from food to household products such as paper towels, toilet paper, even pet food. And then our eating out is just anywhere we got to eat, and I put $25 a week in that one. So for groceries, what I have remaining from last week is 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 105, 6, 7, 8, 9. And what I like to do every time I fill my envelope is I like to take any ones out and I add that into my yard sale fund, which I keep in my folder. Okay, so we're just going to put the ones in our yard sales. And you could take this money and you could put it in some of your other envelopes if you wanted. I like to keep a little extra this way if I need to buy, say, pet food, which costs a little bit more. I have a little extra from the week. Or if I want to stock up on something like meat, I can use this money. The next thing is I need to fill my envelopes for the next 2 weeks. So I put $150 per week in grocery, so $300 per check comes out of grocery. And then for eating out, I put $25 per week, which is $50 per paycheck. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take our groceries. We're going to get the $300 we need for the next 2 weeks. I'm just going to use 20s here. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 300. Okay, so when we divide that, we're going to put 150 in for this week and 150 goes into our envelope for next week. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 50 will go into our envelope. And then 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 50 goes into our envelope for the next week. Okay. And then next week, even though it's not a payday, I would just take the money out of this envelope and put it into my envelope that I carry in my purse. Okay? And then for eating out, we're going to take $50. So 20, 40, 45, 50. And I put 25 per week. So 25 will go into my folder and 25 will go into my wallet. So we're going to put that into our folder as well, in the eating out. And again, I'll just take this out next week and put it into my envelope that I carry within my purse. Okay, so now we're just going to add this money into our grocery envelope. And we're just going to add it with the other money that we already have left remaining. So we have 5 here. So let's just count what we have now. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 50, 55. So $255, which is wonderful. For eating out, what we have remaining is 20, 40, 60, 65, 66, 67, 68. Once again, I'm going to take my ones out, and we're going to put those in the yard sale envelope. And you could put this in any envelope. You could put this in your savings. Some people like to save their dollars for the year and just see how much it comes up to. Yard sale for me is just kind of an extra fun thing I do, so it's money I don't really miss from what's left over in my budget, so I just use that for funding my yard sales. Then for eating out, we're going to add the 25 into this envelope as well. 5 towards the back. So what we have left here is 20, 40, 60, 80, 85, 90. So $90. This is great to carry the rollover, just because sometimes you might go out to eat another time that you weren't expecting, or you might go to a more expensive place. And so really, by keeping the rollover, these envelopes are kind of serving as a sinking fund as well, where you're just building them up over time. Now these envelopes will go into my purse, and these are what I'll spend out of whenever I get my groceries or when we go out to eat this weekend. Okay, so now what I have left is the money that I have to put into my savings challenges. These are my sinking funds. These are things that I save up for a little at a time. The bill may not be due for several months, but by putting a little money in them, week after week, paycheck after paycheck, they build up. And so I don't have to come up with a large amount all at once, because I've been saving for it a little at a time. So what I have remaining is 100, 20, 40, 45, 50, 51, 52, 53. I'm going to start with the same thing I've been doing all along, is using my ones. I'm going to add those also into my yard sale money. Okay, so when I add those in, we have 20, 40, 60, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. $86. That's a great start for yard sales, thrift stores, things like that, auctions. And it's not really money that I even miss, because I'm really only using ones mostly to fund that. Okay, what I do next is I like to do my savings challenge next. Some advice I like to give is to pay yourself first. And I do this by saving money. My goal is to save $5,000 this year to put into savings. I have a high yield savings account, and so I like to transfer it into that. Or you also could open a CD or invest it in other investments. If you are in debt, you could use this $5,000 to put towards debt. That's something, thankfully, we're not in debt at this time, and so I just like to invest it for our future. So this is my little savings challenge can. And so what I do is I pull out an envelope, and I have these listed in order by highest to lowest. That way when I have extra money, I know they're towards the front. If I don't have as much money for a week, I can get a lower denomination. So this one is $195. So we're going to go ahead and fund that right now. So 100, 50, 70, 90, 95. 195, that's a big one to get done. And then let's go with a little smaller one next. I like to do 2 of these per paycheck just because there's 2 weeks per paycheck. So let's go ahead and do $85. 20, 40, 60, 80, 85. Some people like to save these challenges for the end and use whatever money they have left, and that is completely fine to do as well. I just do like the principle of saving first and then using the rest of the money for other expenses, but you can really do this whichever way you prefer. So this is the paper I use with my $5,000 savings challenge, and so I do is I'll just mark off the amounts that I saved. So the first one was the $195, and I just use a highlighter. Okay, and so here's the $195. I'm just going to highlight that just so I know that I filled that one. And then the second one that I did was $85. So here's the $85. I'm just going to highlight that as well. So when all these are filled, I will have saved $5,000. What I'm going to do with this remaining money, this is the money I use toward my sinking funds that I keep in my cash envelopes. This is money for things I know are going to be coming up, things like auto repairs, car registrations, house projects, vacations, things that I want to save a little bit for over time. They're not things that I necessarily need right now, but I know I will need. Another example would be my husband has to pay union dues. So I save up for that all year long, and then when that bill comes due, I just take the money out of my cash envelope, put it in the bank, write out the check, and that's paid for. My green folder, this has more my priority savings. And what I'm going to do first, we're going to go to our taxes. We have paid off our mortgage, which is wonderful, but just because you've paid off a mortgage, there's still bills. And so we have taxes on our property twice a year, actually. So I'm always saving up for the taxes. So I'm going to add that into our taxes. Let's see what we have in here now. Okay, so this is money I actually have in the bank already. So I have 1,000, 1,100, 200, 300, 400. Okay, there's 1,500, 20, 40, 60. So $1,560 in taxes. I think that was one thing that surprised me the most about paying off our mortgage. I thought, oh, once our mortgage is paid off, we'll have all this money, but you still do have to put away money for taxes. Okay, so the next things I like to fund is I'm going to put a little bit of money in our home. And this is things we use for home improvements, whether inside or outside, if I need to buy paint, or if I want to buy mulch, if we need to fix an appliance, this is where that money comes out of. So in home, we have 100, 200, 20, 21. So $221 in home. And I'd like to put another 20 into our auto. Again, this would be if something breaks on a vehicle, if we need to pay for inspections, things like that. So I have $1,000 in the bank already. 100, 150, 170, 190, 210, 230, 235. So $1,235 in auto. Now, if we had a car that we were thinking of replacing, I would actually be putting more money into the auto to save up for that. But right now our cars are working well, so we would just be doing repairs and just keeping them running. Okay, so now I don't have much left. That money goes quickly. So I only have 2 5s. So I think where I'm going to put that today in the pink folder. And I'm just going to put that into my gifts category. I feel like I've been using a lot of money out of gifts lately. So we're just going to build that up into gifts. And what we have now is 50, 100, 50, 200, 20, 40, 50, 55, 60. And I'm actually going to be taking some money out of this today to put in 2 graduation cards and a birthday card. So that one's going to be dropping a little bit. Okay, just like that, all the money that we had from our paycheck is spent. It's either going into bills, our tithe, or our gas money, and then groceries and eating out is what I put into the cash envelopes. And then we use what was remaining to put into our cash savings envelopes or our savings challenge. I hope this is inspiring to you, that you can see that even with just a little bit of money, you can make it stretch, and a little bit over time will build up into meeting the goals that you have for yourself. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful day. Enjoy this beautiful weather, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.